I used MicroCars.
This is a Peel P50 and it was built in Peel, Isle of Man in 1963. It is missing the normal things you see on a normal car, such as a speedometer, an indicator, any brake lights. Well, unfortunately, without indicators, you have to use hand signals. This window doesn't open, so all I'm able to do is put my arm out the window and signal a right turn, a left turn, or a slowing down, and that is all I can do.
Built on the Isle of Man in the early 60s, the P50 was said to be almost cheaper than walking. Cost £198 and did 100 miles to the gallon.
Driving a Peel Trident is rather an experience. This is the only form of ventilation and space for hand signals. It has even less controls than the Peel P50. Just a simple handbrake and pedals and the gear change lever down here, and it was very, very, very scary to drive fast. That should do for a couple of 100 miles.
Four-wheeled cars have much tougher regulations than three-wheeled cars. They need such things as airbags, roll cages, and side intrusion bars. So I decided to go for a three-wheeled car, because this would avoid all the problems with getting insured and past inspection. Three wheels propose some issues. Turning dynamics are very different. When you go to turn with two wheels in the front and one wheel in the back, all of your force and load of the whole car is on the front outside tire. To keep the car stable in turns, all of your weight must be inside the triangle between all three wheels. The passengers have to ride as close to the front wheels as possible as to keep them within the triangle. The more weight between the front tires, the more stable the car is. The most efficient shape is the water drop. I wanted to use the water drop as my basic design for my car. This is a very basic interpretation of a water drop car. It's a water drop on wheels. The water drop has many curves. There is not one straight panel on the water drop. Curves are very difficult to make, in part because the frame requires bending, and in part because the material that you're coating the car with needs to be bent. Rolling a piece of material in one direction, giving it one curve, is a fairly straightforward process. The material is willing to bend in that one direction. However, when you start trying to bend a material in two directions at the same time, a compound curve, the material begins to ripple and crease. It doesn't want to stay flat. This is very sped up, and this man is very practiced, which I am not. I have never worked with making curves in sheet metal. So, some things that I needed to use for my car. A big engine is expensive, so I decided to go for a smaller engine. A smaller engine means my car had to be built very lightweight. Four wheels made regulations very tough, and getting it past inspection would be very difficult. So I needed to put 3 wheels. 3 wheels pose some problems in turning dynamics and weight distribution. All of the weight has to be inside the triangle of the tires. If the weight is outside of this triangle, it makes the car very tippy in the turns, and it makes it very easy to roll. Because of time, I didn't want to have any curves in this car, or as few as possible, and definitely not compound curves. Here's a 50cc engine, which is what I ended up using. As you see, this is used to push one person on a very lightweight motor scooter. It's not designed to push 500 pounds. So the car had to be as light as possible, just all weight that wasn't necessary had to stay out. The only difference between that car and what I was building is that mine had to have 3 wheels.